Hi, my name is Christopher Hale, and I am Freedom's Witness. Today, I'm going to be reading to you some of my stories from my blog that are not videos yet. So these are not part of the new professional series of videos coming out on fear that you'll be seeing in 2016, but these are some stories I've written in my blog spot that I thought I would share via video just for the fun of it. So here we go. The first one is titled, "The Liar That Fear Built." By now, many of you know and will recognize this familiar refrain. I was raised as one of Jehovah's Witnesses. Here we go again, some may say, with the stories of how life was adversely affected by my religious upbringing. While this cult has indeed helped a few to become better people, on the other hand, for the majority, including myself, we have grown up to be not strong Christian men and women, but instead pretty little liars. Yep, you heard me right. Some of us are pretty, myself included, and we all grew up to be pretty little liars. The culture of the Watchtower Society is all based in fear. Fear is used to control and motivate others, quite frankly, in religion and in most areas of our lives. So, let's see where we can find fear. We can find fear in financial institutions. They use it as an excuse to raise and lower interest rates and to get people to buy. Our employers use it as a means to get us to do more for less in many cases. Our governments use it to justify wars all over the world, to justify things that we may not understand or see or may not be privy to. Our parents use it to get us to do what they want us to do. They may use it when we're kids. They may use it even when we're adults. Religion, of course. We know religion uses fear as a means of control and, of course, money making. Politicians use it. I think if anyone's following the Republican debate right now, the biggest fear mongering going on right now is with Donald Trump. Just fear, 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 terrorists all over the place. Anyone who wishes to control another uses fear to some extent. And surprise, your God of the Bible uses it too, a lot. If you were raised in a religious family, then you were taught fear. Fear God or something bad will happen to you. So if we fear God and all that comes with it, all is good, right? Because we're not doing anything to make God mad, right? In my experience and in the experiences that many others would share, they might say absolutely not the case. As one of Jehovah's Witnesses, you are taught vehemently that you are never, ever good enough for God's approval, that the work never ends. And that's the same with any religion. In other words, if you got to a point where you were in good shape with God, then what would be the point of religion, and why would you continue to put money in their contribution boxes or in their plates if you could reach a point where, you know what, God said, dude, you're good. As if God is watching your every move and developing a counter move based on your good or bad actions, seeking vengeance for every wrong thought or deed. So we run down this road of fear thinking that if we don't do all these things, God is watching us and he's going to punish us if we don't do exactly what he thinks we should be doing, and so he's just watching us. How many times did you feel you were being measured against others by some of the following? And this, based on my experience as being one of Jehovah's Witnesses in the past, any Jehovah's Witness or ex-Jehovah's Witness who's watching this now will understand what I mean. Again, how many times do you feel, as an ex-Jehovah's Witness, you were being measured against others by some of the following? How many hours did you study your Bible today? How many hours did you read your Bible today? How many hours did you spend in the ministry knocking on people's doors? And in the case of the new Jehovah's Witness, how many hours did you spend standing by your cart? Or leaning against your cart, or sleeping on your cart, or sleeping underneath your cart? How much collateral did you pass out this week? And in the case of those standing at the carts, I'm not sure there's any kind of passing out of anything happening. You're just standing there. How many Bible studies did you conduct this month? How many meetings did you miss? Or how many meetings did you attend? How many times did you not think about sex with your ex? I mean, because those Kingdom Hall meetings were boring as hell. So, what do I think about today? Sex with my ex, sex with the ex, that's boring. That's boring too. For my situation, I remember that shit was pretty boring. How many times did you not think about sex with your ex? How many times did you not look at that sister with the big booty? I mean, I know I did all the time. I mean, you sitting in that seat, right? And it's time for somebody to give a speech or give a talk on the stage, and she come with that tight skirt, and you trying to look this way. You got one eye looking this way, the other eye looking down the aisle, trying not to look at that big thing that's moving by. It's almost impossible. Well, it's good entertainment anyway. How much money did you put into the contribution box? You know, the contribution box on the back of the wall, when it's time to put that money in, you write that check out and you make sure you put it in there nice and slowly. Oops, drop my check on the floor so everybody can see I put in $50. Did you study with your family this week? How many times did you study with your family this week? The fulfilling of all these ridiculous requirements and, of course, broadcasting them to all that will listen was a sure sign that you might be good enough, right? Perhaps, how many of you told the truth? I know I rarely ever did. Never, really, actually. But I wanted to be part of the good enough club, so I lied. We all did. I know you lied too. Don't even try to fake it like you didn't go to Kingdom Hall and lie about all them hours you put in last month. I know. Don't bullshit me. And they gave us privileges. They gave us responsibilities. They gave us ice cream. I know that sounds ridiculous, but the more lies you told, the more you appear to be really doing some stuff in the ministry, the more responsibilities you got, the more accolades you got, and some of us even got ice cream. Most of us grew up to be pretty little liars, myself included. You see, we still feel that we are not good enough. So we put on airs and create our own false realities about ourselves because we have been told so long that we are not good enough. That applies to religion in general. It's easier to lie, to fake it, to get the accolades that we need and want to feel good about ourselves instead of putting in the real work. Fear to face ourselves as we truly are is the lie that fear builds. We must learn to look in the mirror and see what is there. What you will find is that it needs work, and in some cases, a lot of work. The further reality is that you are not far off. The work is not impossible, actually. The project not without a completion date. But you and I must be willing to acknowledge that we are not what we think we are. We are not as good as we thought we were. Our lives are not as great as we see them, and that's a tough thing to do, looking in that mirror. I, however, am very fortunate. I am not lucky, but intentional. I have mirrors all around me. I mean, mirrors all around me. Some of these mirrors have long hair and wear makeup. Some of these mirrors have bald head and beards. Yes, these are my friends. That was funny, right? Yes, these are my friends, and they are always helping me to see the truth about myself. Even though I may never see it till I sleep on it, eventually, though, I do see it. Yep, still pretty, no longer a liar, still a work in process. Surround yourself with truth-telling mirrors. Listen to the truth coming from them. Acknowledge where the holes are, and start today in building an authentic life based on the real truth of you, not the lie that fear builds. My name is Christopher Hale, and I am Freedom's Witness.